historic courthouse museum. We only opened up the 1st of May last year, and so we've completely grown our audiences from scratch. In the first year, we've tried to avoid paying for any advertising and trying instead to do it all through press releases and through social media. And so social media has been really key to our advertising in this first year, and we've built up an amazing number of followers on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. My top tips for using social media are that we try and keep a monthly social media planner which provides the framework for everything we do. So within that we'll put events that we know are going to happen on certain days. We put interesting tidbits that will hook in people who have an interest in the building and its history, and also put in promotions about different events we've got going on and various things that we'd like to encourage people into the building for. We also try and make sure that all of our content is really good, so our photos are really good, our videos are really good. And then we also make sure that we're monitoring that constantly to see what it is that does really well, and then to replicate that, and what that doesn't do so well, we try and do less of. So the stories that we tell at Shire Hall, we try and then weave them into our social media, and so especially the personal stories we tell about the accused, we try and put little tidbits, especially things that key into the dates in the year, into our social media calendar. So like we have a woman who was accused, tried and then hanged in Dorchester, and we try and put in little bits about her story, and we find that gets a really interesting response and really captures people's imagination.
The Tank Museum is home to the world's finest collection of tanks, and we're based at Bovington in Dorset. Well, at the Tank Museum we use a variety of social media, but we really focus our efforts on two channels in particular. The first one is Facebook and the second one is YouTube. We built our Facebook following over a period of years, and we largely did that organically. What's interesting about it is only about 20% of our Facebook audience is actually based in the UK, and the rest are from those largely other English-speaking countries like the USA and Canada and Australia around the world. We mainly use Facebook to tell the stories of tanks and the people that served in them, so we're really taking the kind of experience people would have here in the museum into the online sphere, and we are finding that that encourages people to visit us. So we found very early on that social media isn't the place to be doing the hard sell. What we found is that you need to earn the right to sell to people, and the way you do that is by building their trust and confidence using storytelling methods. We also understand that you can't rely on one single social media platform to get your message out there, because of course we don't own these platforms. We have no control over them or the direction that they may be taking as entities or media or as businesses. So we also have been using YouTube, and again that's a platform which is fantastic for the storytelling media. So we've been using YouTube to put some of our curators in front of the camera to tell people again about the vehicles that we've got here in our collection, which by extension and association promotes the Tank Museum and gives people a good idea of what they can see here in the museum, but also takes that to an audience of millions, people around the world. We've got approaching 250,000 YouTube subscribers now, and we also work increasingly with third parties, influencers, other YouTubers. YouTube is a very collaborative medium, and that allows us to get our message out to even more people. So we found that social media has been incredibly useful to us. It's allowing us to reach numbers of people that we really only dreamed of in the past. We view social media really as being a natural extension of our standard PR activities. We're not really approaching it in a massively different way. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been successful, is that we're consistent with what we say both online and offline in more traditional media. But also we have been fortunate enough to have some fantastic material to work with. As a museum, we have no shortage of stories, and of course social media is all about telling fantastic stories. My top tip would be think very carefully about what you want to say, how you're going to say it, and what you want to achieve from that, what business objectives you think you can reach from it. I think it's very important to remember that what you put out on social media needs to be genuinely useful for people, for them to pay attention and be engaged by it.